Hey everybody, welcome to Theories in Crime Causation. I know this video is well overdue, so I appreciate everyone's patience with it getting posted. I think that we have finally solved all the problems, so here we go. The first video that I wanted to make was this video explaining the game that we are going to be playing all semester called Whodunit. It's technically called Who Done It and Why, but wait, what is it? Because that's really describing what we're going to be doing in this game. So, background information on what the game is about. It's very similar to the game Clue, if you've ever played Clue before, but with some tweaks because, we are focusing on what we're learning in class. So, this is, Clue with a emphasis on crime theories. So what we are trying to do, the object of the game, is to figure out who committed the crime. We also have to talk about what crime they actually committed and what theory explains why they committed the crime. So those three questions are going to be answered at the end of the semester. So throughout the semester, you're going to be getting clues as to who did it, why they did it, and what they actually did in the first place. So this is the whole point and this is the whole object of the game. So I wanted to show you what we actually are talking about. So this is an example of what you are going to get. So during the first half of the semester, we are going to be presenting 7 different suspects. So this is the second suspect that you're going to get. And you'll get, the picture of what they look like, where they're located, if they've had any previous crime before, and a little quote about themselves. So the quote in particular is basically going to be your given scenario. And so you are given a scenario about every single suspect. Then what you're going to see in your weekly folders is a quiz called Who Done It, or they're really going to be labeled WDI quiz. So every single week you're going to get a suspect and then this little quiz. And I want everyone to be aware that this quiz is not what you would consider a real quiz. If you complete the quiz, you get full points regardless of whether or not you got the answer right. So just completing it makes you get 5 points every single week, except for test weeks, of course. So I want to make this clear because when you take the quiz, you will see if you don't get the answer right, Blackboard will automatically give you a 4.995, I believe. But just so you know, I will go back and change all those into 5s. So the only way that you get a 0 on these quizzes is if you don't take the time to do it at all. And of course, they're only going to be 1 to 2 questions. So these questions are going to ask you to select the theory that explains why they committed the crime. So basically, this is going to be similar to what your exams are like. Your exams for this class are all going to be application questions, and this is exactly how they're laid out. So on the exam, you would say, what theory best describes this scenario? And so this would basically be the scenario. So the quote from the suspect is going to be the scenario, and this quiz is going to ask you what theory describes this scenario right here. And that's it. So that's all you need to do in order to get full points, in order to solve that part of the quiz. So you are going to have the first 7 weeks of that. If you get the answer correct, great. Then you know for sure which theory goes with that actual suspect. And, like I said, even if you don't get it right, you're still going to get the points, but there are advantages to obviously getting it right. One of them being the fact that you can now, match that suspect with the theory, which is going to be important for later on. Because remember, you want to tell us what theory explains why that suspect committed the crime at the end of the semester. So if you're getting them right throughout the semester, you already have them all matched up. You don't have any work to do, any extra work to do at the end of the semester. Another reason why it's beneficial to get it right is because that means that you know the theory. So you've been, working on these things. You will learn about the concepts in class that week. And then this is really going to drive it home. And if you do well on these quizzes, then that means that you understand the concepts that we're talking about in class, which means that you will do well on the actual quizzes and the exams themselves. So obviously getting them right is for the best. If you don't get it right, you can right then and there try to figure out, okay, well, it's not this suspect, I know that. Which one does it actually fit with? So let me go ahead a little bit. So remember, you're going to have a final assignment on these. I encourage you to fill out this table, which is part of your final assignment. This is table 1. I encourage you to do work on this throughout this first seven weeks of the semester. Not technically 7 weeks, but while you're getting these suspects and taking these quizzes, it makes sense to fill this table out as well. So if you see suspect 1, you take the quiz, you get the theory correct, you want to write it down all right here while it's fresh in your mind. And that way you don't have to do it at the end of the semester. You don't have to do that. That's personally what I recommend. It'll make things easier for you, but you don't have to do it that way. You can also wait till the end of the semester and then go back and fill all this out then. But obviously that's just going to be more work for you than the semester, and you're going to have to probably think back, and that's not always the easiest thing to do. Okay, so hopefully that explains the first part of this game that we're going to be playing. Now, the second half of the semester, really towards the last 5 weeks or so, you're going to have clues presented to you. So let me go and show you what that actually looks like. Oh, no, wrong one, sorry. This one right here. Okay, so during the second half of the semester, the last 5 weeks, you're going to be presented with a clue in your weekly folder. And so in the clue, this is clue 2, you're getting a witness report. The police are going to ask you questions, and not you, technically. The police is asking a question, and the witness is answering the question. And between these witness statements and police statements, you're going to, come up with this is going to tell you something about the suspect. So you already have the suspects. You already have been presented them all. You're going to have access to them all semester, so you can see. Also, if you fill out that table, you can line them up with which theory. And then these also are going to be representative of a theory. So the fact that this guy has, has something to lose, as you see throughout the semester, is going to be important for a specific theory. And so that will tell you which suspect you can eliminate. So let me go back to this right here. And again, let me go down to this second table, part of your final assignment again. So as you're presented with each clue, so we just talked about clue 2. So I'm going to look for the suspect that matched up with that clue. So like I said, having nothing to lose or having something to lose is going to be important for one of the theories that we talk about this semester. It's going to be your job to come up with which suspect that eliminated. And you're going to write the suspect down here. You're going to tell why you knew that that mattered. Probably because, the theory in particular. This is just these how do you know are just, very short, maybe one sentence explaining why you matched that theory up with that particular clue or suspect. And then also in this second part, you may sometimes get a hint as to what crime was committed. You're not always going to be presented with this part. So, like I said, it's going to be a 1 or 2 question quiz. The 2 question quizzes are going to include, eliminating a suspect and hinting at what crime was committed. This will make more sense as you're going through it because you'll see what the clues are and you'll be able to eliminate a suspect and provide a clue. So again, these quizzes are going to be very similar. You're going to be presented, let me see if it says it up here. They're going to ask you which suspect was eliminated from each clue, and some will give you and some will ask if the clue gave you information on what type of crime is committed. So after you answer, you're going to be presented with a screen that says, yes, you got it right. Then you would go down and fill out the table, or no, you didn't choose correctly, and then it's up to you to figure out which one actually committed it. You can ask me questions throughout the semester about the game, but I am not going to tell you if you got it right, after the fact, because that takes all the fun out of the game. It's up to you guys to try to figure it out and put it all together at the end of the semester. So again, you're going to receive full credit for these quizzes regardless if you get the answer right or not. Obviously, knowing the correct answer, getting it right is going to help you eliminate suspects, and it's also going to, make sure that you do understand the theories that we're learning in class, which is always good because that's the whole objective of the class in general. Okay, so those are all of the clue quizzes and things that you're going to get throughout the semester. So, of course, the whole objective of the game that we talked about is figuring out which suspect did it, why they did it, and what they actually did, like what crime was actually committed. So here's where those clues for the second half of the semester really come in handy, because you are going to be eliminating suspects based on what is presented to you. So you might get something that says, suspect, and I'm just making this up, so don't take this for, those are the answers. But let's say that clue number 2 eliminated suspect, matched up with suspect number 4. So that means that I'm crossing suspect number 4 off my list. I already have up here what theory they were associated with, and now, clue number 2 is eliminating suspect number 4. So therefore, suspect number 4 did not commit the crime. So you are going to be left with, I think it's one or two. You're going to be left with, I think actually one suspect. You're going to be left with one suspect at the very end of the semester, and voila, that is your answer for down here. If you got the answer right up here, you're already going to know what theory explains the crime that they committed. And this one down here is where, you get to put on your thinking cap a little bit and come up with the answer. You're going to have clues as to what crime was committed, so you're going to have to put all these together to come up with this answer right here, since you don't actually have any cards for that part. You'll see, like I said, as the semester goes along, this part will make a little more sense. And if you ever have any questions, you can always ask me. You just can't ask me for the right answers, because I'm not going to tell you what the right answers are, because that would be cheating and no fun. So this assignment, the final assignment for the whodunit, is worth 50 points. So filling out these 3 tables is worth up to 50 points. So, this is a really easy way for you guys to get points. 50 points is a lot. It's, worth half of a test. So that's a big deal. So all you have to do is fill out these tables and submit it through the submission site on Blackboard. So you're going to see it. It's going to come up right around finals week, and this is due Monday, December 6th, the first day of finals week. And let me go down. So how is this assignment to be graded? Here's the grading rubric for it. And I want to point out to you guys that even if you get the answer wrong, you are going to get at least half a point. So you're going to get half a point for just filling it out. If you get it right, obviously that's better, but the only way to completely fail on this is to not fill it out at all. So as long as you fill things out, you're going to get at least half a point. So even if you got every single thing wrong on this, you would get 25 points. Obviously that's a failing grade technically, but still 25 points, and that's, not bad. Also, I have full confidence that none of you will get every single answer incorrect. So I'm sure that everyone here will get 50 points for getting these answers right. I hope that this is fun for you throughout the semester, a little way to break things up, but also a way to enforce what we're learning in class. If you guys have any questions, like I said, please feel free to ask me. But I will not give you the actual answers to the questions. You will, if you get them right, you'll know that you got them right. And if you got them wrong, well, then you need to study a little bit more. Okay, so if you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask me. I hope you guys have fun with this game, and good luck over the semester.